Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will take you through an essay in Blossoms of the Savannah. And the question here is that true friends will do anything possible to help you while in distress. Using Nabaru and Minik, validate the above statement insofar as what they do to Russian is concerned. So a question like this could be handled in the form of a table that we have here. We have three columns that kind of brings out all the important parts of the question. And when a student receives the question paper, then you need to outline the major requirements of the question. The first one is that in your answer, in each and every point, a true friend must come out. Then you must also highlight what they do, how they do anything possible to help another character in distress. Again, these important elements of the question must also appear in the introduction. So we could have something like in Henry Olekulet's Blossoms of the Savannah, it is evident that a friend in need is a friend indeed. And this is shown through Nabaru and Minik in how they help Russian in her time of agony. So that is the distress. So those three parts must always be brought out in each and every point. The first character here we have Nabaru, and here we have noted Nabaru 1. The point of distress is that she meets Russian after the near rape incident when Olarinkoi attempts to rape Russian, and the help that comes about, we have 12 days after the near rape incident. She meets Russian with a kind stare when Russian is in the hut and feels that there is a motherly figure who has been nursing her. The first moment of interaction, she meets Russian with a kind stare. That is on page 224. Then she also helps Russian to a sitting position, as seen on page 225. Then she gives out her own blankets, her two blankets, and a comfortable bed to replace the rags that Russian used to have, seen on page 238. Then she fills Russian in on what went on before she came to, when she was still unconscious. And she tells Russian that Russian grew so weak, and to a point she thought that Russian was going to die. But then she hails Russian's bravery and Russian's courage that enabled her to come to, as seen on page 233. Then again on this same page 233, she promises to help Russian, notwithstanding the prophecies by Nkoiboni, whether the prophecies are there or not, that she is going to stand with Russian. So that is the first point. And we remember from our previous discussion on essay that a point should always be presented in 3 dimensions. So the first part of the paragraph is what we call the topical sentence. The topical sentence kind of announces the point that the candidate is going to give. Like here, we could say that Nabaru does everything possible to assist Reshian after the near rape incident. So, there is the aspect of a true friend in Nabaru, and then there follows that the announcement that she does anything possible to assist Reshian in her time of distress, which is after the near rape incident. Then the candidate goes ahead to give illustrations. In this case, we have 5 illustrations. The devil is always in the details, to mean that most candidates fail because they do not give the illustration. So they give 1 or 2 illustrations and stop at that point. Then finally, there ought to be a clincher sentence that kind of agrees to the fact that because of all these illustrations that we've given here, it is true that Nabaru is a true friend, as she does anything possible during Reshian's moment of agony. Viewers, as we continue, I would want to thank you very much for the support that you've given to this channel. To those who are new here, kindly consider hitting onto that subscribe button so that anytime we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Second point, still on Nabaru, she also helps Reshian escape away from her captors, that is Olarinkoi and the mono-eyed mother to Olarinkoi, that is Enkoibon. The first thing that Nabaru does there is that there ought to be some background information, and the background information here is that on their way to Ntarenaju sheep ranch, where Nabaru is assisting Reshian to get to the Makerere or the Minik, Nabaru tells Reshian that it is her bravery that inspired her to risk going up to the nearest center and convincing a driver by the name of Lebutu to make a detour from his normal route to come to Inkiito and pick Reshian. That is a kind of sacrifice on the part of Nabaru. Then again, in the morning that Nabaru helps Reshian to escape, she finds Reshian sick, and she has been taken ill as a result of the mosquito bites that she experienced the night before. And it only takes Nabaru giving Reshian medicine on page 247 because of her prowess in the line of medicine. Reshian is able to come back and they escape. Then she also gives Reshian the Olpurda medicine, that is when they leave their bus, when the engine has overheated, so that Reshian can get better as they now near Emakerere's sheep ranch. Then again, during their escape, Nabaru again runs with Reshian despite the heavy downpour that drenches them, such that her lasso kind of clings to her body and rivulets of rain are pouring down her body, and she is able to brave this, as seen on page 248, to get to their destination. Again, there is Minik. Minik also assists Reshian when she gets to the Ntarenaju sheep ranch. she could have been stranded because she was going to meet Emakere for the first time. And when she meets, when Emakere meets Rashian, just before they get to Ntarinaju Ship Ranch, she first recognizes her and tells Lebutu, the driver, to take good care of her and take her to the station. And then, after that, she receives a warm welcome in Minik's house. She takes a bath in a gigantic bathtub. Then, secondly, she sits in her comfortable sofa and she's given a warm audience by Minik to state her case. And of course, when she begins to state her case, she requests Minik to take her to Egerton University, what she calls her Nirvana. So Minik later promises Rashian that she is going to ensure and see to it that she joins her dream school, that is the Egerton University. And lastly, another point on Minik is in the face of Oloisudori's onslaught. Oloisudori finally comes to Ntarenaju with the intention of taking one of the girls, that is either Rashian or Tayo. And Minik stands her ground and bravely faces off with Oloisudori, telling him that not even Olekaelo, the father of the girls, could take the girls away. And at the end of the day, when Oloisudori tries to demean Minik by telling her that she is kind of a mendacious spinster who cannot find a husband, she still stands her ground, and her workers descend on the machines and the entourage by Oloisudori, and finally the girls are safe. So these are some of the points that can help you to come up with points that earn you full marks. Of course, you are aware that you cannot present your points in this table form. I was just using this for illustration, but all points must be in prose, that is in paragraph form. So like you begin from the introduction, point 1, point 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, then you conclude to assert that it is really true that true friends can do anything possible to help a friend in their time of need. Viewers, that is a sample winning essay on Blossoms of the Savannah. Until next time, thank you.